Narendra Pradhan has broken his silence on his resignation amid the NEET protests. Pradhan said that Gen Z is our children and alleged that some people had tried to mislead them during the protests over the NEET paper leak row. He also said that the ministerial post was never important to him and that he had himself approached Prime Minister Narendra Modi with an offer to resign. Well, let me go across to my colleague Atul Ranjan, who joins us live on the broadcast for more on this. Atul, this is the first time that Dharmendra Pradhan has spoken out regarding his resignation. He is stating that that post was never important to him. He himself approached the Prime Minister with the resignation.
Well, yes, while he again reiterates that the post was not important to him, that is something which he also mentioned in his resignation letter that he shot off to the Prime Minister. After the 37-day long protest at the Jantar Mantar continued. Now, what we're given to understand is that Dharmendra Pradhan was in Odisha at a program where he spoke these words, and he again sort of takes the same very line that the government and the BJP has sort of taken in recent days right now, because they initially, while they were critical of the Gen Z and the whole protest, now they seem to be making more efforts, in fact, towards appeasing Gen Zs and trying to show them that they are not against them. And this particular statement from Dharmendra Pradhan also sort of goes to that same particular line where he says that Gen Zs are our friends, those students are our friends, they are not our enemies, and we certainly understand what their demands are and their issues is. While he also at the same time also highlights that while Gen Z's demands and the sentiments were genuine, they were also exploited by some of the say government elements or anti-social elements at the Jantar Mantar, is what again something which reiterates. Now, this is something which he also had mentioned in his two-page resignation letter that he had shot off to Prime Minister. But what he crucially this time mentions is that he was the one who himself offered his resignation. The Education Minister confirming that he was the one who himself offered resignation to the Prime Minister and not the other way around, where he was asked to resign by the central leadership. That is an important fact that he has mentioned this time. That should sort of clear a lot of speculations, because there were a lot of talks around whether he offered resignation himself, because there were some reports that sort of claimed that he offered his resignation at least twice before the whole incident. But right now he mentions that he was the one who offered his resignation. Now, the statement from Dharmendra Pradhan on Gen Z is also quite a departure from what his initial assessment was of the whole protest, because if you remember, in the very first or the second week of protest, he told, in fact, he branded the protesters as B team of terrorists. So that is quite a significant departure when it comes to his take on the Gen Zs and protesters at the Jantar Mantar this time around. Meanwhile, while he was in Odisha, what is also important is that some of the BJD youth members also protested against his, against his homecoming, and they have also been detained right now because they protested against Dharmendra Pradhan and also engaged in sloganeering out there.
Atul, I request you to stay on with us. We are tracking some more developments.